going to share with you a new technique. It's called a heart talk. And basically, this is a technique that I learned years and years and years ago from a guy named Durfee, who I met at a conference. And I was walking by his table, and it was piled high with these beautiful velour shaped beanbag hearts. And they were heart shaped beanbags. And I stopped and we started talking, and I learned this technique from him. I started doing it with my own kids at home, started doing it at my workshops, doing it in my company. And it literally transformed the level of intimacy, the level of confidence, the level of self-esteem, the level of ability to talk about feelings. So if you've been following with us this last couple of weeks, we've been talking about our new book, which is just coming out in about 7 days or so. Mm-hmm. And it's called I Can Believe in Myself. It's coming out February 23rd. You can order it today from Amazon.com. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this, but we'll feature a technique. But we're talking about, you may have seen that we had a little sign that said ILAC, I am lovable and capable and significant, ILACS. So we want you all to realize you are lovable, you are capable, you are significant, and we've been giving you tools to build up that belief, that experience with the kids in your family and also within yourself. And all these techniques are usable with adults as well, teenagers, middle school kids, young kids, etc. And so today, this technique has to do a lot about lovable, the idea that all of our feelings, all of our experiences, all of our emotions, all of our fears, our worries, our concerns, even our anger, our irritation, our annoyance, all those things are acceptable feelings to have and to be expressed. And unfortunately, we grow up in a culture where, and some cultures even worse than North America, where it's not okay for men to cry, to be a wuss or a sissy. And it's not okay for women to get angry, makes you the B word. And so what happens is that a lot of us, then we repress our feelings. And not only is that bad in terms of people don't get to know who we are, and it gets in the way of intimacy, but it also isn't good for your health. Because whatever you repress tends to come out in the form of dis-ease in the body, tension, and it can create disease. So this technique is really simple. Basically, it's called a heart talk because we're talking from our heart. What's on your heart? What are you feeling? What are you concerned about? What are you worried about? What's challenging you in your life, etc. And so this is a technique you want to do on a regular basis. I recommend at least once a week. Some families do it every single day. We used to do it 3 or 4 times a week in my family. The only reason we didn't do it is I'd forget, or the kids would be wanting to watch some TV show right after dinner, and we just didn't have time to do it. But never went through a weekend without doing it because we wanted to connect and bond. So the way it works is you find some object that you can pass around. I'm just looking over on my table. Here's a water bottle. I have a stopwatch could be used. You could pass around one of our books. It's the Big Bad Boldy. But one of the things is it has to be something that everybody can see when you're holding it. We've used footballs, basketballs, baseballs, teddy bears. I like teddy bears and beanbags and things like that because they're soft. And they kind of are saying, hey, we're talking about our heart. We want to be soft and gentle with each other here. So if you have a teddy bear or a stuffed animal of some kind, that's really a great thing to use. But we've done it in seminars where we use somebody's glasses case, a cell phone, whatever it might be. Now, what happens is the reason you have this object is whoever is holding the object gets to speak. Everyone else is not allowed to speak. They can't respond. They can't interrupt. They can't say, no way, I never said that. Whatever it is, it's just called, you have to wait your turn. Everybody gets a turn. So let's say Miriam and I are in the circle, and let's say Miriam's 4 kids. So there's 6 of us. And I might start. And then the person who starts passes the object to the left. And then we always know the object's coming in what order because it always goes to the left. So it's predictable. That way you don't have kids throwing the ball across to another kid and avoiding their sister or, trying to create some kind of problem with it. And you can talk for as long as you want, within reason. Obviously, you don't talk for 20 minutes if there's only 20 minutes to do the whole thing. You want to set aside enough time, especially if there's something going on. Like if there's an issue, and Miriam's going to talk about an example of that in a minute or two. You want to give as much time as is needed to get it completed. We've done heart talks where one of my friend's sons died, and that was a long heart talk because there was a lot of feelings around that needed to be shared within the family. Or a pet dies, or grandma dies, or something like that. There's a lot more feelings than maybe say an average day, so you want to set a little more time for that. Or if your son just didn't get into the college of his choice, so there are times when anything that is upsetting, it's a great time to have a heart talk. Now, you want to do it on a general level all the time anyway. So just like you take vitamin C or you drink orange juice, to get your vitamins on a regular basis, eat your veggies, etc. This should become a daily routine. Now, I'm going to tell you some guidelines, and then I'm going to give you some sample topics. And then Miriam's going to talk about some examples in her own family of using this. So the guidelines are this. Number one, only the person with the heart can talk. And that includes the parents, because the parents often want to interrupt and say, wait a second, or I didn't say that, or, be nice to your brother, or you just have to let kids say whatever they're going to say. And second thing is that you have to stay in the circle until it's complete. The third thing is you can pass if you don't want to speak. If you don't feel safe, if you don't want to share, if you don't have anything to share, you can say I pass. Now, one of the guidelines is, how do you know when the circle's finished? And that's when everybody passes. Like, this goes around the entire circle again. No one has anything else to add. And so, or if you set a time like 1 hour or 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it might be, then you can basically end it. You can let people know there's 5 minutes left. Everyone gets a turn, make sure they do. But basically, you want to do it until everyone is complete, because you want them to feel complete. Another guideline is what's said in the circle stays in the circle. You don't gossip about it to other people. You don't go tell your friends about it. You don't, another guideline, especially with kids, you don't tease anyone about what got said. So no teasing allowed, no gossiping allowed, confidentiality. What's said in the circle stays in the circle. So those are the guidelines, and those guidelines are important. Make sure everyone knows what they are. And your job as a parent or leader, whenever you're leading this, is to make sure the guidelines are being adhered to. If somebody starts to interrupt somebody, say, no, you'll get a turn. The only person who is talking or holds the heart, the imaginary heart, is speaking. Let me tell you about some topics that you can do. We shared a couple topics when we talked about dinner table conversations a while ago. One being, what did you learn today? What did you accomplish today? Could be another topic. Who did you help out today? Who did you make a difference in the life of someone today? So kids start looking to see that they want to do that, because they know that might be a topic that comes up in a heart talk. Now, some other topics. My favorite topic is what's up. What's up means what is happening in your life that's top of mind for you. Maybe you're worried about it, you're concerned about it. Maybe you failed a test today, you feel bad about it, or you're concerned about your spelling test tomorrow, or your SAT test you're going to take next weekend. But whatever's up, could be a concern, a fear, a feeling, a challenge, something you lie in bed worrying about. Your best friend hasn't spoken to you for 3 days, or went to sit down at your favorite lunch table at school and everybody got up and left, or they moved, they wouldn't let you get in there. All those kind of things come up that need to be talked about. What would you like to learn to do better is another topic. What's your biggest challenge? What are you afraid to attempt to do? Or what are you afraid to say that needs to be said? That's another topic that we've used. What are you worried about? What would you like help with? Because often kids don't ask for help. So if you would like a list of about 181 of these topics, there is a curriculum guide I developed for teachers called Self-Esteem in a Classroom. You just go to jackcanfield.com. You can download that. It's very inexpensive. And whether you're a parent or a teacher, you can use those topics for half a year. Then you can circle back around on them again. That way you talk about everything you could possibly ever think that kids need to talk about. So Miriam, tell us a little bit. I know you've used these in your family, this technique quite often. So share some experiences with us.
Yeah, we usually do the getting everybody around the table or on the sofas in the living room, and we use a teddy bear that we pass around, and we ask the question, what's up for me? So the kids will say, this is what's happening right now. Sometimes we get into some really deep conversations depending on what's happening for them. Like you said, a test coming up now with teenagers, a lot of boyfriend things. You know, I just broke up with my boyfriend, and it's just a time to really give them space to talk about it, and we're all a part of it, right? Another time I've used it is when there was a lot of conflict between two of my children, the second and the third, boy and girl. So this was a time to everybody to speak their mind and to really share how they were feeling. I think the most important thing that has come out of it for my family is that everybody feels like everybody's being heard, and everybody feels important enough to be given that time to share about their feelings. Other times we've gotten together and used this hard talk is when we've tried, when we have to decide on a family vacation, for example, where we want to go. And then we give everybody time to talk about that and to kind of plead their case if they're holding that teddy bear. Other times is beginning of the summer, right? We ask questions like, what do you want to learn this summer? Where do you want to go? How do you want to have fun? And it's just making it more intentional and everybody hearing what we all want to do so that we make sure we accommodate all six of us, really, the four kids and my husband and I. So I have found that it's been very useful for my family. But I love that you're reminding us of this, Jack, because it's been a while since we've done it. We're not in the habit of doing it every week, but now that the kids are home from school, I'm going to do it today.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Couple questions I saw floating by. Number one was one was a not a question, but it's a statement. Said these are actually good journal prompts to use for writing in your journal. So if you don't have someone else to be doing a hard talk with, you can do it with yourself and explore what's going on in your feelings, because often we don't do that. And then someone asked, is there a book for teens? I would just recommend, we have a book called The Success Principles for Teens. You can go to Amazon and check that out as well. Also, what we're finding, I have read the I Can't Believe It Myself book to my kids, including my son who's 43 and his uncle who's 40, my grandson's uncle. And everybody seems to relate to the story, adults, when they read it to their children. So it's also a good book just to share with anybody. I Can't Believe in Myself. And also, as I said, there's a book called The Success Principles for Teens. Someone asked a question about work stress. Basically, I would just say meditation and exercise would be, without getting into a whole thing and turning this whole talk into that. But if you can learn to meditate, go to YouTube, type in meditation. There's all kinds of people teaching meditation techniques you can go along with. And someone said, how can we get your stuff in Iran? You can get our stuff in Iran by Amazon.com. Also, I know my book's available in Iran, some of them, because I've been there in Tehran twice, and people were able to access the books. Monica says, teaching success principles in the schools, and very good. Sadvi says, I meditate, it does not help. And you might want to see a counselor, Sadvi, someone that can help walk you through some stress releasing exercises. As I said, exercise is really important. Getting a massage, taking a hot bath, and you can put the bath bomb crystals, essential oils like Stress Away. If you go to youngliving.com, you can get an oil like Stress Away or Peace and Calming, which you can use as well. So anyway, love you guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday, with 3 more techniques you can use with yourself and with your kids to build this belief that you can do anything. And the truth is, you can. It's just a matter of choosing to believe it. The book will help you and your children come to that. I Can't Believe it Myself. Get it on Amazon.com. All right. Thanks for all the hearts, everybody. Love you guys. Take care.
Thanks. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.